I'm worried, Ray. It's getting crowded in there, and all my recent data points to something big on the horizon.
What do you mean, the big?
Well, let's say this Twinkie represents the normal amount of psychokinetic energy in the New York area. According to this morning's sample, it would be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing approximately 600 pounds.
That's a big Twinkie.
G'day, welcome back to Wallet Customs. Today we're going to look at the fifth and final in my series of life-size Ghostbuster props made from Lego. And here we have the full collection of all the stuff I'd actually planned to make for a show that got cancelled due to COVID in October, I believe it was, this year, which is 2021 if you're watching in a different year. So this is a collection of all the previous stuffs you've seen before, the trap, the PKE meter, the neutrino wand, and the ecto goggles, all put together with some supplemental pieces meant to display a version of Egon or Ray's workbench in the Ghostbusters universe, as if they'd walked off to a job and left their workbench behind with some pieces being worked on. So let's go through all the little bits and pieces I've got here. There's lots of little deep dives and deep cuts, into the Ghostbusters universe. So for the trap, PKE meter, neutrino wand, and goggles, if you haven't already watched those videos, they're all online. You can watch them after this one. And I'll go into a deep dive on each of those individually. This other stuff is more of light, deep cuts into the Ghostbusters universe, so they're probably not worth spending as much time on, so I'll be pretty quick showing each of these things off. So let's get into it.
And this voice said, Zool. And then I slammed the refrigerator door and I left. That was 2 days ago, and I haven't been back to my apartment.
Generally, you don't see that kind of behavior in a major appliance.
And the biggest sort of focal piece of this, which I really want to do because as it's laid out on the bench here, which I have trouble fitting this in on my small workspace here, I want something big to sort of draw your eye up from all these things in front of it. You might remember this in the first Ghostbusters movie when Louis Tully's getting scanned with the big colander on his head with the wires sticking out everywhere. As Louis Tully, played by Rick Moranis, moves his head around, you can see mirrored the movements on a screen in the background, which is showing the Terra Dog, kind of like a thermal imaging type scan behind him. And so I really want to get that in behind, as if he's kind of reviewing some pieces of material or information while he's working on this bench. We've got the Terra Dog there, which is built stacking bricks and plates vertically to achieve that look of the Terra Dog, which I actually took an image of a Terra Dog from one of the Sideshow toys, I think it was. I couldn't find a good image to take from the film exactly to convert into this image. So I took an image of a Sideshow collectible toys of a Terra Dog, converted that into, you can call it what's called remapping or re-ramping. Colors to be within certain ranges would get applied to this as more of a heat map style look. So I did that in Photoshop, converted that into a texture almost, and then applied that to this image in Lego version with 5 colors, I think. 5 colors if you include black. So the screen is completely brick built. The image you're seeing is all stacked plates and different bricks stacked vertically to represent the Terra Dog. And it's even got little dials and switches down the bottom. Got little speakers down the bottom. And a handle you can pick it up from the top with, which supports its full weight, but I like to keep a hand underneath it just in case it falls off.
Come in, Ray.
Pickman! I saw it!
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Next up is the Nokia walkie-talkie. Yeah, I believe it's Motorola from memory, with the little dials, and I do like the way, completely unintentional, the aerial wobbles a little bit, just like the real thing would be a rubber version of that. And that's probably, I think it's supposed to be a little bit taller than this in real life, but I don't have one of these on hand to compare it to, so I think it does the job of just having a generic walkie-talkie in their pocket, but it's supposed to actually represent the Motorola version, I think it is. Hello? We've got a couple little containers of slime samples. We've got the green slime from Ghostbusters and the pink slime from Ghostbusters 2. We have, these are some deep cuts here. No one's going to know it really. We have a little multimeter with, I don't even know what these things are called. Things that are attached there to gauge voltage on a piece of equipment, which is featured in a few of the scenes, just sort of scattered around the sets, sort of scattered about the place, and sometimes picked up by Egon. Another sort of blue monitor or multimeter that I've tried to represent. I added a few little aerials on top there just because I thought it needed a little bit more flair, but it's a kind of a basic multimeter or meter of some kind. We've got the trap, which you've already seen. neutrino one, which you've already seen in the other videos. We have an ashtray where Ray's smoking as he's been working on the workbench. It's bad for you. And this one for the cosplayers is known in the cosplaying community as the belt gizmo, which is basically a little circuit board with these are supposed to light up on the actual belt in the movie. There's lots of little gadgets. I actually added this a little bit as well, just kind of felt like it needed a little bit more flair to pop on a display like this. And this little thing is supposed to sort of hitch on the belt of the Ghostbuster. Various screwdrivers, which is meant to enhance the idea that this is a workbench of Ray or Egon. We also have what I originally wanted to be the Tobin Spirit Guide, but because I couldn't get the text on there to read Tobin's Spirit Guide in a way I was happy with, I really wanted the idea of not just straight plain text, I wanted to be a bit more elaborate than that, and I couldn't really get that working. So instead I've turned it into an ancient Sumerian text that Ray's investigating or researching as he's got it lying here on his bench, and with markers and post-it notes on the side there to mark points of interest he's been researching, and a nice little detail on the front here with a sort of demonic face in a, I guess, a Sumerian style. I don't know what Sumerian style is, but I've kind of tried to get the idea that it's an ancient piece of text.
Tell him about the Twinkie.
What about the Twinkie?
Last but not least, hopefully this isn't rustling too much in your ears, is a few little Twinkies, which it was very difficult to find Twinkies here in Australia. Twinkies aren't easy to come by in Australia. They're pretty hard to find, and I had to track these down. They were sold at a Night Owl, which is kind of the equivalent of a 7-Eleven, which we also have here in Australia, and they're sold with the do not sell individually marking on the packets. And it was the first time I had them because I bought them just to use the packets to put the Lego versions inside of, and frankly they're bloody disgusting. They taste like cardboard and cancer.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
There you go, that wraps up my representation of Egon's or Ray's workbench. This is the end for my life-size Ghostbuster props for now. I'd really love to do a full proton pack to go with the neutrino wand here behind me, but that would eat up a lot of my parts and time to do that, so I can't see it happening anytime soon. We're about to go on Christmas breaks here in Australia, so that's going to tide me over for a while. And a lot of my black's tied up in this, so I don't know if it'll happen anytime soon. I'd love to do it. It's just that there's so much black in a big proton pack like that, and it's such a huge task. It would take months and quite a lot of money. So if anyone wants to commission me to do it, I'm open, but at the moment it's on the back burner. So as I say, this is the last for my Ghostbusters life-size props for now. There may be more coming in the future. I do want to try and convert the trap, point in the wrong direction. I want to convert the trap into the remote control version, which would be pretty cool, I think. And if I can do that in a way that's modular, that I can convert it back to the original trap and put the remote control ability on it, add something I can pop on and off, that'd be really cool. And just be able to remote control that with a Lego controller would be really cool as well. So that's something I might look into. It's something that's a bit easier to do than a full proton pack. If you have any other ideas for life-size Ghostbuster props you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. And please check out the videos for the trap, PKE meter, neutrino wand, and ecto goggles if you haven't already. I've got a couple of new videos coming soon, maybe not before Christmas, I don't know yet, for my macro figure Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know what they're called, macro figure or what. And another Ghostbusters scene minifig scale representing one of the famous scenes from the first movie. And also I've got instructions out there for a new version of the Ecto 1 at minifig scale, which are already on my Instagram if you're not already following me at Waller Customs. But I'll go through that build in depth so you can check it out in more detail before you decide to build it, before you decide to pull apart your original Ecto 1 Lego Ideas set to cannibalize for parts. Anyway, that'll wrap it up for now. I hope you enjoyed my series. As I said, more Ghostbuster stuff coming. Check out the channel. Thanks for watching.
Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters! Yes, that's right. Ghostbusters. We're back with twice the know-how and twice the particle power to deal with all your supernatural elimination needs.
Look out, Winston. He's a mean one.
Nothing we can't handle, Egon.